and drove on a road that's closed because of a washout. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says charges are pending against 43-year-old Wesley Allender of Lisbon after his SUV entered that washout near Lisbon and hit an embankment around 7 last night. All 5 people in the vehicle are seriously hurt. 3 of them had to be airlifted to Fargo. The victims include Allender and 4 teenagers, ages 14 to 18. Troopers say no one in that car was wearing their seatbelt. Also on your fast track, we have new information on breaking news we have been following. The man suspected in a shooting at a Fargo restaurant was known to police. 24-year-old Malik Gill was arrested in May of 2020 after an assault involving a gun at a North Moorhead home. The victim was hit in the head with a handgun. Moorhead police arrested Gill as he was trying to run from that home. Court records also indicate that Gill was convicted of criminal sexual conduct in September of 2016. And we are now getting a look at video. This video right here. This is what Gill posted from inside the Plaza Azteca restaurant yesterday, taken just minutes before police say he shot a 21-year-old woman and an 8-month-old baby he was with. He then took off after that shooting, but was spotted a short time later by Clay County deputies. The chase ended with a crash, and deputies found Gill dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There is no update this morning on the condition of the 2 victims. 4 nearby West Fargo schools went into lockdown after that shooting, and tensions were heightened by a student who didn't have all of the pieces to the story. Gill was still on the run before school was let out. Then someone inside of Cheyenne High School, without full knowledge of that situation, called 911 to say there was a shooter in the school. At the same time, everyone at the all-city track meet was moved inside. Police eventually cleared out of the school buildings as they were there. New this morning, the Minnesota State Capitol was in a temporary lockdown after a police chase ended outside of the building. The House DFL spokesman says the incident happened during a House floor session last night, prompting the House to go into a sudden recess. Lawmakers were told to stay in the House chamber while that building was locked down as law enforcement responded. That lockdown was lifted around 11 o'clock last night. 6:53 right now. Let's get a check of that fast track forecast. And Lisa, we had a very nice sunrise earlier, and now kind of looks like clouds are taking over a little bit.
Yeah, we knew it would happen, but it's still kind of a bummer to lose that sunshine. It's still trying to peek out from around the clouds, but we do have clouds on the way. So eventually, even if you are enjoying some sun out there this morning, that will be changing. We're at 45 degrees in Fargo, 50 in Grand Forks, 48 in Thief River Falls. We're looking at some temperatures over to the east into the mid-40s, 46 in Bemidji, and in Fergus Falls, a little more sun over in Fergus, and Devil's Lake out in the west, 46. We have had a couple of showers there this morning too. Let's take a look at our visibility reports. We're doing just fine in the south. 10-mile visibility, that's the best report we can get. Great to see that. Looks like we're having some trouble in Fosston, but it's up along the Canadian border where we're seeing some of our lowest visibility reports. Langdon at less than a mile visibility for you. Hallock still sitting at 0. So some dense fog, and I've been seeing it on some of our DOT cams. So be careful in that area, especially in those flooded areas where visibility is down. Here's a look at the radar and satellite map. Clouds again taking over, and then there are those showers. We've got the showers starting to move into the Edgeley, Ellendale areas here this morning. One little pocket here that looks like it's producing a quick little bout of some heavier rain just to the west of Highway 281. And we could see a thunder shower or two today. We have all the risk, almost all of us just about, have that risk for a thunder shower or two embedded in the rain, or maybe a scattered thunder shower. But if you are into our southeastern viewing area, if you're in places like Wadena, into Parker's Prairie, down into Elbow Lake or Wheaton, you're in this green area that's a little bit deeper in color. That's a marginal risk, which is only a level 1 out of 5, but still a risk that we could see 1 or 2 storms turn severe. The potential's there that we could have some large hail or damaging wind gusts briefly this afternoon and evening. Here's a look at our bus stop planner. Otherwise, we'll see conditions change. The kids will want their rain gear here, even if they're not dealing with rain this morning, because heading home from school, we're looking at showers affecting a lot of us, and temperatures will be into the 50s to some low 60s. Tomorrow, windy. We may see a few flakes mixed in with the lingering rain showers, and just very raw for your Friday. We will have a cool weekend, but we do start to work our way out of it next week. But you're going to want to make sure you've got your rain gear handy here over the next couple of days still.
So good news, I suppose, if you maybe planted a few flowers, and that they'll get rain, they'll get water, but not good news with that frost we have.
Yeah, we want to pay attention the next couple of days. It looks like right now there will be some places getting close to or hitting freezing. And so, a lot of those plants very tender right now. So want to make sure you're taking care of this, covering them up or bringing them in both Friday night and Saturday night. All
right, watch out for it. Lisa, thank you this morning. Now 6:56, former Minneapolis police officer Thomas Lane has pleaded guilty to a state charge of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. As part of a plea deal, a count of aiding and abetting unintentional murder was dismissed. Lane and prosecutors have agreed to a recommended sentence of 3 years. That is below state sentencing guidelines. Lane and former officers J. Alexander King and To Tao are awaiting sentencing on federal counts of violating the civil rights of Floyd. Their former colleague, Derek Chauvin, was convicted of murder last year and pleaded guilty to a federal civil rights violation. Police in northern Minnesota are searching for a man who escaped from a corrections facility. 42-year-old Chris Severin escaped around 9 yesterday morning from the Northeast Regional Corrections Center in Saginaw. That's about 17 miles northwest of Duluth. He was being held at the facility for violating a restraining order. A close call at a Grand Forks gun store. Police say an employee of Brothers Firearms in the Grand Cities Mall was showing a rifle to a customer when a round went off. The bullet went through their store, across a hallway, and into another business. Thankfully, no one was hit. Michael Hale was then ticketed for discharging a firearm within city limits. A Minnesota man could be facing up to 10 years in prison for causing a deadly crash near Grand Forks last July. Police say semi-driver Stephen Pachowski was swerving and driving recklessly on Highway 2 and showed no signs of braking at a red light near Airport Road. That caused a chain reaction crash involving 6 other vehicles and 14 people. 1 person died. Pachowski is charged with multiple counts, including manslaughter. Fewer high school seniors are getting their diplomas as COVID-19 sent students home to learn online, and the pandemic affected some school districts' graduation rates more than others. The Valley Today's JC Dodd joins us in studio this morning. She went through the numbers and breaks it down with the very latest. Good morning, JC.
Good morning, Jordan. Many states reported seeing fewer seniors don a cap and gown after the first year of the pandemic. So I took a look into our area school districts to see if this rang true. In Fargo, at the end of the 2018 school year, 84% of seniors received their high school diploma. The following year, that number stayed the same. By the end of 2020, that number spiked to 87% of seniors graduating. However, after a year of the pandemic, that number dropped back down to 84%. Over in Moorhead, their graduation rates were on the rise before the pandemic hit. The district went from 82.5% graduation rate in 2018 and jumping to 86.5% in 2019. The next year, the district reached 90.9% of seniors receiving their diploma. And after a year into the pandemic, graduation rates only fell 0.2%, the smallest decrease across the metro. Now let's look at West Fargo. At the end of the 2018 school year, 87% of students were graduating. After 4 years, that number continues to rise with an 88% graduation rate in 2019 and a peaking at 92% in 2020. However, at the end of last school year, that number fell down to 85%. It's an exciting time as graduation is quickly approaching for high school seniors in the Valley. So Jordan, we'll continue to watch these numbers and see after 2 years of the pandemic what happens.
Yeah, a lot of parents are very worried about learning losses that might have happened there. JC in studio this morning, thank you. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. We'll have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather for you coming up right now on the Fargo CW. Have a great day, everyone.